From above the sky, an unblinking eye locks onto its target. Who is being hunted this time? Before diving deeper into Russia's misfortunes in Kherson this year, there's a hot piece of news that shouldn't be missed. Ukraine has achieved numerous successes in countering Russia's Black Sea Fleet, hasn't it? A series of precise and well-calculated military operations have caused a significant setback for Russia's naval power in the Black Sea region. In fact, sustained pressure from Ukraine's defense forces has forced Russia to withdraw its main warships and relocate much of its military assets from Crimea to the port of Novorossiysk. One of the latest reports reinforcing this narrative of success comes from the Atesh Partisan Network. On July 16, 2025, Atesh agents conducting surveillance in the Kyiv Bay area of Sevastopol managed to identify a Russian warship that had suffered serious damage from a Ukrainian missile strike. According to the report, the ship appeared to be in the process of being rescued, escorted by tugboats while water was being pumped out of its hull, an indication that the ship's internal compartments had been breached and were at risk of flooding due to severe damage. Visible damage was evident on the ship's upper deck, but Russia attempted to conceal it by covering the area with netting. Additionally, in what appears to be an effort to obscure the ship's identity, the hull number was repainted. The fact that the ship was located at the 13th shipyard at the time of the attack adds weight to the evidence that the strike targeted strategic infrastructure used by Russia to repair and maintain its fleet in Crimea. Russia's move to begin relocating its equipment and ships to Novorossiysk is a direct response to the increasing risks it faces in Crimea. Field sources report that all patrol vessels of the Black Sea Fleet have been withdrawn from Crimea, a move that signifies a major shift in Russia's military strategy in the region. However, this story is not just about a damaged warship or a strategic repositioning. It also symbolizes how Ukrainian military and intelligence pressure is gradually but surely eroding Russia's dominance in the Black Sea. The story of the damaged ship in Sevastopol is just one of many snapshots of Ukraine's successful military operations that shouldn't be overlooked. Let's now look at other stories of how the Black Sea Fleet is yielding to Ukrainian forces' operations. On June 24, 2025, the digital world was jolted by a 25-second video clip released by the Ukrainian Ministry of Defense. Though brief, the footage captured the essence of modern warfare. In the black and white visuals typical of thermal cameras, a Russian vessel is seen slowly moving through calm waters near Kinburn Spit. This is no ordinary stretch of water. It is a strategic waterway in the battle-scarred Kherson region, a corridor repeatedly exploited by Russian forces to infiltrate and reinforce their grip on southern Ukrainian territory. A report from Naval News corroborated key details of this critical incident. Ukrainian intelligence confirmed that the vessel was not on a routine patrol. On its deck, it carried landing troops, pawns in Russia's strategic chess game, to secure a stronger foothold. The soldiers aboard may have felt the sea breeze or the deceptive warmth of the sun, but they had no idea they were being watched. Far beyond the range of human sight and hearing, a steel predator hovered patiently. That eye in the sky belonged to a Ukrainian Navy Bayraktar TB2 combat UAV, a name that has become legendary in this conflict. From its cruising altitude, the drone's operator had already locked onto the target. No sirens and no warnings. In the world seen through an infrared lens, everything is divided simply into heat and cold between targets and threats. Then, without warning, the Bayraktar TB2 released its payload. A precision-guided MAML bomb silently detached from its wing, beginning a brief yet fatal journey toward its target. Seconds later, hell erupted on the water's surface. A massive explosion struck the vessel midship. A bright orange fireball flared for a moment, stark against the drone's monochrome camera palette, before being quickly replaced by thick black smoke billowing into the sky. In the blink of an eye, the ship that had once moved with purpose was torn apart, its story ending along the western shores of Kherson. This success is not an anomaly. Since the early days of the conflict, the TB2 drone manufactured by the Turkish company Baykar, has been a mainstay of Ukraine's defense. Its track record is marked by a series of successful strikes, destroying Russian armored convoys, disabling expensive air defense systems, and sinking valuable naval targets. According to the specifications from its manufacturer, the Bayraktar TB2 is a tactical medium-altitude, long-endurance, unmanned combat aerial vehicle. It is designed to conduct intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance missions, while also delivering deadly precision strikes using munitions such as the MAML. Ukraine, which acquired several TB2 systems before and during the conflict, found the drone to be highly effective, especially during the first year of the war with Russia. Its peak effectiveness was demonstrated in an operation that will forever be etched in naval history: the sinking of the Moskva, the flagship of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. In that complex operation, the TB2 drone and Ukraine's domestically produced Neptune anti-ship missiles collaborated in a deadly strike. Reflecting on that incident, the Bayraktar TB2 played a particularly clever role. Due to its relatively small size, low radar cross-section, and slower speed compared to conventional fighter jets, it was likely able to fly beneath the detection threshold of the aging radar system aboard the Moskva. Defense analyst Arda Mevlutoglu supports this hypothesis, noting that the primary radar systems on many Russian warships of that era were based on outdated technology, optimized for detecting large threats like fighter jets, helicopters, bombers, and cruise missiles. A slow, small drone like the Bayraktar TB2 could have gone undetected or even dismissed as a non-threatening presence. That's why, in several naval battles, the TB2 has often been used as a decoy, forcing enemy defenses to focus in one direction while the real threat approached from another. However, the recent incident in Kherson raises a critical question. Has Russia not made improvements after the bitter lesson of losing the Moskva? The answer, like much in warfare, is complex. Russia has indeed made efforts to adapt, particularly by enhancing its electronic warfare capabilities. Yet, the destruction of a vessel near the Kinburn Spit suggests that those adaptations are still incomplete. With the Russian Navy's air defense capabilities continuing to degrade significantly due to a series of losses and Ukrainian precision strikes, drones like the TB2 can now operate more freely, especially in complex coastal and riverine areas. They are able to target ships and shoreline positions with far less resistance than at the height of the conflict. This attack is more than just a tactical strike. It is a symbol of Ukraine's technological and doctrinal superiority in drone warfare. It affirms the dominance of their UAV systems in the deadly triad of detecting, tracking, and neutralizing threats, often before Russian forces even set foot on land. Through operations like this, Ukraine consistently demonstrates that unmanned aerial power has become a decisive factor in modern combat, especially in the struggle for control over coastal regions. How could Russia not be alarmed? Every report of a successful drone strike is a painful reminder of their vulnerability. The vessel destroyed in the waters off Kherson marks the 28th Russian ship or boat to be either destroyed or significantly damaged by Ukrainian forces. This statistic paints a grim narrative for Moscow. The world watched as the cruiser Moskva, touted as a state-of-the-art platform, sank early in the conflict. That defeat was followed by a series of other losses that have steadily eroded the strength of Russia's Black Sea Fleet. In response, Russia is reportedly building a new class of Ivan Rogov amphibious assault ships, giants designed to carry up to 90 pieces of military equipment, including 15 helicopters. The construction of these massive vessels is clear evidence that Russia is deeply concerned about the capabilities of Ukraine and its NATO allies, who have systematically undermined the once unquestioned dominance of the Black Sea Fleet. Praise has poured in for the operators and planners behind the success in Kherson. Ukraine's Navy commander, Vice Admiral Oleksiy Nejpapa, publicly commended the outstanding work, a recognition of his troops' intelligence and bravery. This consistent success has inevitably sparked another debate among military analysts. Is the Bayraktar TB2 superior to the Iranian-made Shahed drones that Russia heavily relies on? At first glance, this comparison may seem like comparing apples and oranges, as both are designed with very different operational philosophies. The Bayraktar TB2 is better suited for sustained operations that demand a combination of continuous surveillance, dynamic target acquisition, and precision strike capabilities with reusable assets. Its multi-mission profile acts as the eyes, ears, and sword, and its ability to seamlessly integrate with Ukrainian artillery units and ground forces gives it exceptional flexibility on the battlefield. In contrast, many of the drones used by Russia, such as the Shahed 136 and Lancet, are optimized for one-way missions. These are weapons designed for mass attacks, intended to overwhelm and saturate Ukrainian air defenses through sheer numbers. While these kamikaze drones are harder to intercept due to their small size and low cost, they have a fundamental weakness. They lack comparable intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. They cannot serve as advanced battlefield reconnaissance tools or provide real-time artillery adjustment data to track moving targets dozens of kilometers away. These Russian drones fall short of fulfilling the need for precise and sustained surgical strikes, and they lack the reusability profile offered by the TB2. What about Russia's Orion drone? The Orion is still relatively new to actual combat, and its operational experience is not as extensive as that of the TB2. The Bayraktar TB2 has been combat-proven in several global conflicts, including in Syria, Libya, Nagorno-Karabakh, and Ukraine. It has demonstrated high effectiveness in precision strikes and delivery missions. And of course, the battlefield continues to evolve. The biggest challenge for TB2 operators today is Russia's layered air defense network and increasingly sophisticated electronic warfare systems. Russia has learned from its mistakes and now deploys tighter and more effective defenses. However, Ukrainian forces and their TB2 operators are also working smarter. They no longer recklessly fly these drones straight into the heart of Russia's strongest defenses. Instead, Ukraine continues to use the TB2 drones very successfully in roles where Russian air defense coverage is weaker, such as along rivers behind defensive lines or to strike high-value logistical targets. They choose their battles wisely, maximizing the drone's strengths while minimizing risks. Now, the drone battlefield horizon is about to witness a new chapter. The Turkish company Baykar has announced and tested the Bayraktar TB2 TAI drone. This is a reborn version of the legendary TB2, now equipped with advanced artificial intelligence and a more powerful turbo engine. This upgrade is not just a minor modification, it is a quantum leap. The new version can reach higher altitudes, fly faster, and most importantly, has far greater autonomous capabilities thanks to AI integration. The drone can dynamically plan flight routes, independently identify targets, and even navigate in environments where GPS signals are jammed by enemy electronic warfare. Considering Ukraine is one of the primary and most experienced users of the Bayraktar platform, it is certain they will be among the first to adopt this deadly upgrade. With the threat evolving continuously, Russia must prepare to face smarter, faster, and more lethal predators of the sky. The fight for dominance over the skies of Ukraine is far from over. Thanks for being part of today's story. See you in the next episode.